Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle the epic story of a civilization that has shaped the world for thousands of years, the history of Iran. We'll journey from its ancient, massive empires all the way to the huge shifts of the 20th century.
All right, let's kick things off with a question that honestly trips a lot of people up. Is it Persia or is it Iran? And why the change? Well, the answer tells you a whole lot about the country's identity.
So here's what's so interesting about this. It really comes down to an insider versus outsider perspective. For centuries, people in the West called it Persia. That name actually came from the ancient Greeks, and it was based on just a single southern province called Pars. But here's the thing. Internally, the people living there have called their land Iran for thousands of years. It means land of the Aryans, a nod to the ancient tribes of the region.
And then, in 1935, the government basically said, "Okay, world, let's get on the same page." Shah Reza Pahlavi formally asked the international community to start using the nation's own name, Iran. It was a really powerful move to make the country's global image match its own ancient heritage.
So now that we've cleared that up, let's jump in our time machine and go way, way back to see where this powerful legacy all began. We're talking about one of the most influential empires in all of human history.
We're starting with a real giant, the Achaemenid Empire, founded by the legendary Cyrus the Great. And when I say giant, I mean it. The scale was just breathtaking. At its peak, this first great Persian empire stretched all the way from the Balkans to the Indus Valley in modern-day Pakistan. It brought together dozens of different peoples and cultures under one organized rule. And this is where you really see their genius for, well, running things. How do you connect this massive territory? You build something like the Royal Road, a giant highway, and the Chapakane, which was basically the world's very first postal service. Incredible. And to govern it all, they set up a smart system of provinces called satrapies. To fuel the economy, they even introduced a unified gold currency, the darako, to make trade across the empire smooth as silk. So, what was the cultural and spiritual glue holding all this together? It was a faith called Zoroastrianism. It's this ancient religion that focuses on a cosmic battle between good and evil. It became the state religion, and really, it would go on to define Persian culture for more than 1,000 years.
So this amazing empire laid a foundation that lasted for a millennium. But there was a new power rising up from the Arabian Peninsula, a force that was about to transform the region forever.
In the 7th century, Arab armies arrive and conquer the Sasanian Empire, which was the last of the great pre-Islamic Persian powers. And over time, as you'd expect, Islam gradually replaced Zoroastrianism as the main religion. But, and this is so important for understanding modern Iran, fast forward a few centuries to 1501. The Safavid dynasty comes in and makes Shia Islam the state religion. That single act creates a unique identity that really sets Iran apart in the Muslim world even today.
But here's the fascinating part. The Arab conquest didn't just wipe out Persian culture. Not at all. It led to this incredible fusion. Persian scholars, scientists, and poets became absolute superstars during the Islamic Golden Age. I mean, thinkers like Avicenna, his work in medicine and philosophy influenced not just the Islamic world, but Europe for centuries.
Okay, so after centuries of different dynasties and amazing cultural achievements, we're going to hit the fast-forward button and jump right into the 20th century. This is where things get really intense, and it sets the stage for the Iran we know today.
This brings us to the Pahlavi dynasty. The Shahs, the kings, had this huge, ambitious goal to build a modern, secular nation, basically modeled on the West. And to do that, they became very, very close allies with the United States.
But you can probably guess, this whole vision created a massive explosive divide. You've got two sides in a head-on collision. On one side, you have the Shah pushing for rapid westernization and a super tight U.S. alliance. On the other side, you've got this powerful mix of clergy and nationalists who see all this as a betrayal of Iran's identity and, frankly, as selling out to foreign powers.
So here's the crucial thing to understand. As the Shah's government got more and more dictatorial and more tied to foreign support, the anger just kept building. You could feel this pressure cooker of discontent with the tyranny and the foreign influence just simmering right below the surface all across the country.
And that pressure cooker? Well, it was about to explode. Which brings us to, without a doubt, the single biggest turning point in modern Iranian history, the revolution. The year is 1979, and all that pent-up anger just erupts onto the streets. It's a massive popular revolution, led by the exiled Ayatollah Khomeini, and in what felt like the blink of an eye, they overthrow a monarchy that had been around for 2,500 years. Just an incredible moment in history.
And you have to understand, this wasn't just swapping out one leader for another. No way! This was a complete reimagining of what Iran was. The country was basically reborn, right there on the world stage, with a brand new mission to be a fiercely independent power, answering to absolutely no one.
So, what was this new Islamic Republic all about? Well, it was built on a few really core ideas. First, it was explicitly anti-imperialist, completely shattering its alliance with the US. It championed independence with this motto of neither East nor West, rejecting both superpowers of the Cold War. And at its very heart, it established a theocracy, a state run by Islamic principles, with the goal of being a leader for the Shia world.
So from Cyrus the Great all the way to the Islamic Republic, Iran's story is just this incredible saga of identity, of resilience, of radical transformation. And that entire, long, complicated history, it's all happening right now, shaping its present, which leaves us with the big question to think about. Where does a nation with such a powerful past go from here?